2012 is going to be a significant year for the ABC in Queensland. It's nearly 5 years ago to the day that ABC staff at Toowong were ordered to abandon their workplace because of a breast cancer cluster. And for half a decade, ABC staff have been in temporary accommodation scattered across Brisbane. That all comes to an end in the new year when the ABC opens its new Queensland headquarters at Southbank. As Peter McCutcheon reports, it's a time for celebration and reflection for ABC staff who've gone through the trauma of a medical mystery and enjoyed the support of other networks.
It's a tad incongruous. ABC Queensland news and current affairs programs appear to be coming out of Channel 10. But there's no sign here to explain why.
The ABC has been pretty much hidden away in the basement of this building. The only sign of its presence is this logo on the door. It's a bit like a tradesman's entrance. And just around the corner here is where news and current affairs programs have been put to air for the past 5 years.
Just how the ABC got here and why it stayed so long is a story involving anger, heartbreak and a medical mystery.
I'm not quite sure of the figures, but it got to around 20 people, if not more, suffered from breast cancer.
Kathy, why on earth did you let the ABC in?
We had a friend who needed some help, and what we did was we said, our home is open to you. That's why we let the ABC in.
In mid-2006, ABC News staff at Toowong in Brisbane walked off the job after hearing yet another of their colleagues had developed breast cancer.
We don't believe that this is a safe work environment for us to work in anymore.
Initial reports and testing gave the building site the all clear. But as the number of breast cancer cases went well into the double figures, the ABC commissioned its own scientific study.
We found that indeed there were more breast cancers there than one would expect on the basis of the rates in the general population, and that this was particularly higher in the younger women.
On hearing that the cancer incidence rates were probably around 1 in a million, ABC Managing Director Mark Scott made a big call.
And given the uncertainty of not knowing what's caused it, that our only alternative was to move quickly to relocate the site, and that's what we've announced to the staff today, and that relocation process is underway as of this afternoon.
In shock, ABC staff packed their belongings and scattered to several buildings around the city. Some senior management and administration staff found accommodation by the river at Milton. Local radio found another building at Toowong, while the TV and radio newsrooms shifted to Channel 10 on Mount Cootha, after a kind invitation from that station's news director, Kathy Schnitzling.
We had just relocated from our old newsroom to our current newsroom, and as the ABC found out, there was a very good reason for that, because the other one was a little out of date. But we just felt that our colleagues needed to have somewhere to go so that they could continue to do their work, put out the news, and we had space, so we said, our house is yours.
One of the bosses called and said, we've got a location at Channel 10. Are you available to... Let's get a newsroom going up there. So I said, yep, let's do it. And so a group of us got together and off we went with trucks with tables and chairs and equipment and headed towards Channel 10.
Finding the space was the easy part. The difficult job of putting a newsroom together was given to a team of technical whizzes, including cameraman Dean Caton.
It was a big task. You know, we did it in about 3 or 4 days, but it wasn't easy. You know, we had to first go up to Channel 10 and have a look at the location that we were moving into, and you know, up there was, you know, wasn't a complete newsroom. It was, you know, there was cable ducts that had holes in the floor, so we had to make the area up there safe before we could go in there and work.
What were those early days like?
They were challenging, they were difficult. We had a newsroom that wasn't really a functioning newsroom. We had journalists gathering the news, putting stories together in edit suites that had wires hanging down from them, sticking out from everywhere. So there was a lot of work on the phones, a lot of work while tradesmen were doing work around us. So it was challenging, it was difficult, but it worked.
Good evening. Coming up in ABC News, the mining tax has passed the lower house.
And worked it did, not just for a few weeks or months as first estimated, but for nearly half a decade. Even if the studio does look a little rough around the edges. But you thought it was only going to be for a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
Well, we thought probably about 3 months, but then when you started reorganising things downstairs and painting the walls, we thought it might have been a little bit longer. But it's ended very well, actually. It was quite a happy arrangement, I think, between the networks.
Over the past 5 years, the ABC has been searching for and finally found a site for a permanent home. The new ABC building at South Bank will be up and running in the new year.
I speak on behalf of the staff by saying that everyone's really looking forward to it. It'll be different, but it'll be good.
And it means no more makeup in a windowless room behind the emergency power supply unit. So this is the secret of your beauty?
Yes, this is how I maintain my youthful looks. Let's leave it at that.
So it's a bit makeshift in here, isn't it?
It has been. I mean, it's 5 years, and yet it's still a little bit makeshift. Very grateful for what we have, but really excited about going to a new purpose-built place.
Excited, yes. But for staff like ABC News assistant Margaret Stewart, who was one of the many women diagnosed with breast cancer, the move comes with mixed emotions.
I'm very proud of the ABC. I think they've gone through an extremely, very emotional turnout, and we've had a lot to deal with since then. We've had floods and fires and everything going on, and you know, being all separated in different areas. So it'll be good to see all the old buddies.